Hello everybody, sorry, this is part 2. My Kindle died. It's been going on a fritz and everything and all. If you're wondering why that just cut all of a sudden and everything, it's because, it just died. It literally just died on me. The good thing is I had to start over again, so that means I can talk again. I hope I didn't talk too much in the last one, but, because I am talking so much, but the good thing is now that, the Kindle died, it means we can start over, and it means I get a longer episode. Anyway, so part 2. So this is some roses and flowers I did and everything else. This was a snowflake that I did, and I traced on this, and then I decided to experiment with some markers to see how good this paper was. So I did a whole bunch of, random flowers on this page, as you can see. Random flowers on this page and some overlapping stuff. You'll find out that I did a lot of flowers and stuff missing. This is another drawing that I'm super proud of because I did this again under the Christmas tree. I was just drawing away, and I was watching this thing, V for Vendetta and everything else. And I just thought this mask was so creepy and just so weird, but yet I thought it was simple. So I literally Googled a picture of it and everything else and all. Or I think because I was watching Nostalgia Critics viewing of this and all, and I thought it was just so funny. So I just decided, but this mask was really creepy, and I've seen this mask. It's called the Anonymous mask, but I didn't know that's what it was called at the time. But I've seen this and everything so much, I just thought it was so creepy, and I just drew it because that became kind of a thing where I didn't want it, so I just drew it down. And the funny thing is, this is probably the first time I would have done something like this and everything, because later on that would have introduced me to how I dealt with creepypasta things, because creepypasta, was how I dealt with things too. Anyway, this is a really good drawing. I'm really happy about it, and I don't know if you guys can see how big this is, how long and how large this drawing is, but it filled up the entire page, and I just did this, and I all did it on one night. And also, this is not marker or anything else. No, this is just pencil. This is just pencil and stuff, the details and stuff. So that was the last picture I probably did under the tree for a while. And this I did on my dad's bed. This is a galaxy, and I did it with oil pastels that I had in my stuff, and I just forgot they were there for a long time. And it's a galaxy. So this is Mars, and this is a bunch of others. And I think this is supposed to be the moon or the sun. I don't know, but it's orange. You can't see it in light, but it's a really big orange and all. It's stuff blended or nothing. And like I said before, I just wanted to clarify. The sketchbooks are meant to go back to over the years, so I didn't put any dates down there. I didn't put anything at all. If I did put a date down there, it was many years after, because I didn't think putting dates down in a sketchbook are a good thing, because I just think it's stressful out. However, it doesn't really give time. This is a dream, a nightmare that I keep having and everything else and all. This is a nightmare that I kept having, so I drew it down and everything else. So basically what happens is, in the dream, I basically, something happens where I basically walk outside my house, and I walk down the street, and I don't know what happens and everything else and all, but I somehow end up going down the street or going down this alleyway and everything else, and I end up in a place that looks like this. I end up in a town where the buildings are all close together and there's stuff like this, and I'm lost, and it's so vivid, when I touch the ground, because I'm is this a dream or not? And this is something that I've always had a problem with when it comes to dreams and everything, and you guys all have to tell me, is this normal or not? I dream in color. People say they dream black and white. I have always dreamed in color. Not only have I dreamed in color, but in this particular dream, it's always so real feeling. Even though I know it's a dream, I feel it real. Because I have gone up to these exact stones and everything else and all, and I've touched it, and I've literally scratched it with my nails, and I have felt the texture of the stone. I have felt the dirt under my nails, and I've scraped at it and everything else and all, and it was just creepy. Even though I knew it was a dream, I could still put my hands down there, and I could feel the texture of the grass. I could feel the thing when I closed my eyes and everything. It all felt real, even though a part of me still knew it was a dream, and that's weird. I still had that fog of dreamness, but I could literally touch it. I could touch the bricks, the texture. I could tell you the texture and everything of it, just like I was in real life. From my fingers, my fingertips, I could do it. It wasn't an illusion, it was there, my fingertips. And this, I had to write it down because it was just so weird. And I haven't had it as much since, but I just wanted to document that this was a dream I kept having, and that this was a place that I kept having the dream. And the funny thing is, the buildings are more close together, and this is best I could draw at that time, but this is me, and this is the dream kind of thing and all. And it was always weird, and I still have those kinds of dreams. And you guys have to tell me, what does that mean in dream? What does that mean when, your dreams are so, you start becoming so immersed in your dreams, you actually start feeling the texture. This, again, I revisited this many years later, so these are more recent years. So this is Jacksepticeye, Sam Jack, Septic Guy Sam. This is a tree with an angel on it because it was Christmas that I want to draw. This is a Link. I was trying to draw Link again, everything else and all, but you can see he doesn't have a face. He has a shield. This is Slenderman again, Creepypasta Christmas, and this was Markiplier, and this was, okay, oh, this was last year, 2024, I did this. So I was drawing a whole bunch of stuff that made me feel nostalgic. I was laying under the Christmas tree, and I was drawing a whole bunch of things that made me nostalgic and made me feel good. So this was Jacksepticeye, this was a Christmas tree, this was Legend of Zelda, this was Markiplier. I never drawn Markiplier before, but this is actually good. I'm really proud of that. And Slenderman, so this page was supposed to be a nostalgic page, as I was laying under the Christmas tree again this year, and I was trying to do that. And this was a dream. So, this one I'm actually proud of. I took my time with this one. I actually did a reference photo and everything of the horse. But this is a horse. The only thing I don't like about it is I kept putting the nostrils, but no matter what I did, the nostrils just didn't look good. They didn't look good, so I just left them out. So I'm going to have to put those back. Eventually, I will finish this. But for right now, as you can see, I even had a problem with the eyes. But thankfully, I got the eyes where they look good and everything else. But this is actually a very good, realistic picture of a horse that I'm actually extremely proud of. Because horses are difficult for me to draw. They're like my bane of existence. Because I always want to draw them good, but it's very difficult to draw them good. So I tried my best with this one. Really trying my best. And this is a really cool one. I did this one on my dad's bed when I was like, Dad wasn't home, so I was like drawing. So I just was like on my parents' bed and I was just drawing, sketching around the house. This is really cool because I think I got this from a tattoo idea. But basically they have like a whole bunch of like, I think it was like death or something and everything else and all, something about death. But basically they had the skull right here, but they had other things behind him, and I didn't like that. So basically, instead of having like this, and then I think it was like needles or anything else, I decided to change it around. So basically, this right here is my original idea, because I like this. I liked what they did with the skull, and I like the things behind the idea of something behind it, but I didn't like the glorifying the drugs and stuff and all. So basically, I just did it as like, this is the way you die. You die from a gun, you die from a knife, or you die from poison or drugs. So basically, this is my original artwork. It's like me taking something that I saw online, somebody else do it, and basically, I wouldn't say perfecting it, but I was saying it, making it more to where I think it was. So I took the skull. I also think I made the skull a little bit more open. Theirs was a little bit more closed. I opened mine a lot more, and I basically put the knife and the poison and the gun instead of needles, and instead of like, I think it was cocaine or something. I don't know. I don't remember what the original artwork was. But so this is this is basically my artwork and basically my interpretation of that, and it's a better, I would say it's a better version of it and all, and I like it, and hopefully someday I'll turn this into a t-shirt or a tattoo. And speaking of tattoos, this is a whole, I was really into like symbols and all, Celtic symbols and everything else and all at the time, and even like some Norse like translations and stuff and all. So I was like, this means royalty, this means good fortune and this stuff, like I wouldn't say zodiac and everything else, but I would say Celtic symbols in like not different languages and stuff, and what each symbol means and everything else. So I was really into that. So I literally just did a whole page of that because I really wanted to get good at these symbols. And this looks really good. But I would tell you, if I tried to draw this again and I didn't have a picture and I didn't have hours to do it, probably wouldn't be so good. Oh, and also I was really into like ruins and stuff. Ruins and like symbols and stuff, and like I said, tattoos. I love this one. It says, I shall meet you again. I love this. I love that symbol. And also, I like this because I think it's supposed to mean bear or like tribe. And this one has axe. It means protection and all. So these basically symbols basically mean in, I think it's like Norse or like Celtic and all. They mean like different things. And I know that the knot and this thing right here means the Holy Trinity. So it's really good. So a lot of these in Celtic lore, these mean the Holy Trinity. And it's a very Christian symbol and all. So that's very on par with what I like and stuff. But I really was into it, and I was really happy, and I would definitely go back to that again. Now, I'm sort of proud of this one and everything and all, but at the same time, it's like this, as you can say it, we go back to things. Your sketchbook is meant to like be an emotional dumpster for you and everything when you draw and stuff like this thing. And this is basically like a sad girl with angel wings and everything, showing that she's a good girl and she's an angel girl. And there's literally hundreds and hundreds of like these monstrous faces behind her and everything else, and all laughing at her, hurting her, tearing her apart. And she says the word, I'm fine. She's crying her eyes out and all, and she says the word, I'm fine. And it's basically like, this was a time and all where I'd really started to become depressed, and I'd really started like get into like the depression and stuff and all. It's like, so this reflected me, but also like I was also trying to do stuff like when pictures have a message and stuff and all, so I was really trying to do that. So this was like a little bit of me at the time, but also me trying to get messages out, like a picture's worth 1,000 words. So this I'm proud of, but at the same time my mom has told me that it's a little morbid, and I guess it is, but you can't always have good stuff in your sketchbooks, and I don't just mean good as in like good quality, but your sketchbook is also meant for like when you're not feeling good. And I guess you guys all know what this is. If you guys don't, then I need to explain it to you guys. This is basically a copied photo. I don't want to say copied. Look, I saw this photograph online of LJ, or Laughing Jack, and I think, and somebody had made him this sex symbol realistic boy. I liked it. I liked that they made him so realistic looking, like an actual boy, and they actually made him actually look hot, that I decided to copy it down so I'd have my own. So basically decided to draw it and use it for my drawing practices and all. And so this is a practice drawing of somebody else's work, and they did a great job. But I also like to say I did pretty good getting it on paper. This is not a printout, this is me drawing it. So this was a practice thing, and I just thought it was cool. I wanted to practice that stuff. I liked creepypasta, and I liked the idea they made him look realistic. Speaking of creepypasta, we're into the creepypasta thing. This is my own original, kind of sort of original thing of EJ, Eyeless Jack. So this is EJ or Eyeless Jack, and it is kind of original, but it's also like kind of like, as you can see with the tongue and everything else, I kind of practice drawing from somebody else. Somebody else drew this, and I copied it down, trying to practice, and that's the best way you do it. Tell people, just so we're clear, tell it like it is. You took this you took this reference of a drawing, you looked at this reference, you liked it, you liked the thing and everything, and then you copied it into your thing. You took it, you did all the designs, you copied it into your sketchbook, and you did it so you could practice. And that is what it is. It's a practice photograph. It's not a copy, even though it technically is a copy, but it is a practice photograph. You did this so you could practice and get better and everything, and because you enjoyed the artwork and you learned from it. And that's what I do. I'm not ashamed to say I practice this, and that is somebody else's, because guess what? All this is mine. Well, hang on, let me clarify that real quick. Reverse statement. All of this hard work and everything is my hard work. Even though I did copy somebody else's work and put it in my sketchbook, I still had to do everything I could to keep looking at that photograph and everything and make it look like this. So the hard work and integrity that I put in this artwork is mine. I can have pride in that and everything. And also I have a copy of my own that is not only a picture of something I like and a flattery photograph of what somebody else did, but it's also pride for me because I did this and everything for myself, so it's more mine than anything else. I'm not going to sell this, I'm not going to do this and everything, I'm just doing it as a practice. So this is Puppeteer, this is Helen Otis, who's otherwise known as Bloody Painter and Puppeteer. So just so we're clear, I'm not stealing from anyone else if it's in my sketchbook. And this one and the next one are probably the last one. So this is actually another kind of copy and everything else and all, but it's a practice of two things. So this is Jeff the Killer and his knife, reflected his knife, and this is Sleepy Yet as another. They're practice copies of Jeff the Killer. This is where I started to really get my Jeff the Killer face. This is another original artwork, and as you can see, I'm just gonna be clear that this is a little bit controversy and everything for somebody. Like, if you have triggers and everything else and all, and certain things help it, or self-harm or everything, I have to tell you something. Don't watch, just skip it. Like, get to the end, skip it and everything, I'm sorry. But if you have a problem with self-harm and everything else and all, sorry. But, this is a girl, she's on her bed, and she's saying again, I'm fine, it's okay, I'm alright. And basically she has a t-shirt on saying everything is fine, and there's a monster under her bed saying you deserve this, and it's her basically hurting herself over and over again, and she's crying, and she's saying it's fine, and she's in her bed alone, and above her and around her there's like laughing faces because they're laughing at her pain and misery. And that'll be it for today. The next part will be like another one, another part 2 to this. Sorry I have to cut out, but see you guys in the next one. I'll try to put like something at the beginning and all to warn of self-harm, but I'll see you guys in the next one. As you can see, it's going to be drawing and everything else, and see you guys in the next